Hey folks, Pan here, and today I'm going to show you a new dish that I developed, which is the end product will be pasta, pork, broccoli, garlic, sesame oil, and fish sauce. So it's going to be a combination of those things, which will be putting an Asian spin to the pasta, which is Italian. And right here, I have pasta boiling. I just did it beforehand, so we could save some time in the video. It's been boiling for about 15 minutes right now. I have sesame oil, I have fish sauce, broccoli, piece of pork, some cloves of garlic. Now I'm just gonna get right into it. So the meat I'll probably cut last. First thing I'll cut is broccoli. The reason why I'm cutting broccoli first is because it is very hard. It's a hard vegetable. And it would just be more enjoyable to eat if it was soft. So I'm going to cut it first, then I'm going to throw it into the boiling pasta water to boil the broccoli as well, just to soften it. Otherwise, if we were to just normal stir fry it, it might take some time. So the broccoli, you see I'm using the stem. It still tastes good. Just cut it thin, so it gets soft relatively quickly, and it'll taste great with the mixture of spices and oil we're gonna put into it. So yeah, just cut them small, small and thin. Just like that, just like that. This one's a bit thick, cut it like that. Yeah, and how I came to develop this dish is just pretty much one of my housemates decided that he wanted to cook something with sesame oil. And from the smell of sesame oil, I just kind of thought of things that would go well together. So there is an Asian dish that is kind of similar to this. I have no idea what's it called, or where I've eaten it, or even what part of like China it's from. But I remember something similar to this, which is, I guess, the inspiration for this dish. So essentially what I've done is reverse engineer based on my memory of a dish that I vaguely remember. And you know, it's okay. You could get creative. Try things out, and then you develop new recipes. So, next, I'm going to take the broccoli. I'm just going to put it in the boiling water. And once again, this is just to make it soft quickly. Now I'm looking for a spoon. Just mix it in with the pasta really quickly, so like this. Oops, I accidentally poured some water out, but that's okay. Yeah, just mix it in like that. And you also want to make sure that the pasta is already, sorry, a little bit of a klutz today. And you also want to make sure that the pasta is already soft as well before you put the broccoli in, because you don't want the broccoli and pasta competing for heat to be softened. Next, what I'll do is the garlic, because this is what's going in next. So if I was to show you the full process, how it would be like is essentially I start boiling the pasta with all these ingredients out, and as the pasta is boiling, I start cutting the broccoli or garlic up. So working a lot in parallel. Which saves a lot of time. And to do these things, you just kind of have to plan ahead a little bit. Understand how the process works. Great. So this heat's kind of low, so I'm going to sped it up a little bit. I had it slightly below medium heat. And now for the pork. So for the pork, you want to cut into small, thin slices. The reason for this is when you're stir frying this stuff, the pasta is very starchy, so it'll start getting stuck on the bottom of the pot, which we'll be using in here to do the slight stir frying. So you want it to be thin and cook fast. So this is pretty much the length, pretty thin, but I'll even just like go one step further and cut them in half, just so we could spread it throughout the dish more. Yeah, so something like this length, height, is pretty good.
See unto the last. Well, we watched the last. Almost, yeah. Yeah, I'll finish that.
So now going back to mixing this stuff. And that's my housemates in the background. Say hi, guys.
Hi.
So yeah, at this point the broccoli is pretty good. Now I'm going to just drain all that pasta water to start the stir frying process. And I'm just doing it in the sink. I have the lid over the pan essentially, and then I'm just topping over, but make sure to hold it firm, otherwise all your food's can fall out. And you just kind of shake it a little bit too if you're filling up to it, but that could cause you to drop your food too, so be careful. So cool. So yeah, let me just show you real quick. So I'm pretty much doing this motion, and you can see some water dripping out. But yeah, that's how I would drain it over the sink. Next step is, now that there's no water, I gotta make sure that there's something to prevent it from getting stuck on the bottom. This is when you move like the pasta and the broccoli over to the side, and you just you lower the heat first as well. Then you start pouring some sesame oil in as a buffer for the bottom, and just start mixing it around. And you're probably going to need a lot of sesame oil just because the pasta is really starchy. It likes to absorb oil a lot. So yeah. Ooh. So I'm actually going to change view because you guys probably can't see what I'm doing very well now that we're done cutting. But yeah, here's the stuff. Once again, stir frying stuff in one hand. So next, I'm also gonna take my garlic to roast a little first with the sesame oil. Oh, one hand is such a... Can you guys imagine how much faster I would be cooking this meal if I had two hands? Alright, almost done. There we go. And just gonna slide it a little. There we go. And you can hear from the noise, like from that noise, it indicates to me that it's already starting to get stuck. So I'm gonna apply more oil to this. And I'm just actually gonna put this camera back on the stand because I really can't effectively cook while holding the camera. There we go, just mix it all around, make sure the oil gets all over the noodles, the broccoli, the garlic. Have it roast for a little while. And you want it to be about this right here. So when we were boiling it, it was about half right here. The lime was right here. You just want to lower it to about here, just to prevent things from getting stuck too much. Yeah, I'm starting to see some noodles get stuck. So my next step is just to get the meat in there. Okay. And now that the raw meat's in there, I'm going to add in some fish sauce real quick just to flavor it. So yeah, that's how it currently looks. Raw meat is pink. Raw pork meat is pink. So I'm going to quickly mix that all up together, just so the fish sauce also gets on the noodles, the broccoli as well. Yeah, and this will cook relatively fast because it's utilizing the heat that's already in the noodles, as well as the heat from the pot and the steam now that I have the lid on. Sorry guys, I was trying to look for kale just cause the broccoli wasn't that much looking at the ratio right now, because you see majority of it is actually the noodles. So I want to add some more broccoli into it. I think the pork ratio to this is fine, but also that varies upon people. Like to me, I don't need that much protein, I don't think. Like that's sufficient for me. So yeah, just quickly mixing that around. So most of the flavor is coming from the sesame oil, the garlic, and the fish sauce, pork. So that's where all the flavor is coming from, pretty much. But yeah, it would be nice if you could see more green around here, like a 50-50 with the noodles, I would say. I think that tastes the best. But yeah, this is the final dish. And once again, this is pasta, broccoli, pork, sesame oil, fish sauce, and garlic. And that's all you need to cook this meal, which took about 25 minutes total if you add up all the time. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Till next time.